Hi there, my name is Jennifer, and I want to talk today about CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome. I've been having just a heck of a day today where I'm feeling extremely emotional and just sort of a wreck. And so I just feel absolutely compelled to do a video right now just to document what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. I need to see the progress that I've made to remind myself of how far I've come, because I have every intention of going even further in my progress and my recovery. And sometimes I need to be able to look back and be like, you know what? I've really come even further than where I'm at today, because today's one of those days where I'm just like struggling with my own self and I'm feeling sad and mad and frustrated. And maybe you are going through the same thing. And so I want maybe my struggle and my progress might give you maybe some hope, even though I'm feeling like, oh, I just want to freaking cry and scream and be all of the emotions. And I'm there. And maybe you're there, and maybe we could be there together, and maybe, yeah, I just feel like I need to put this in a video. Yeah. So let me tell you what happened to me. So today is January 14th, 2022. And on May 26, 2021, last year, my sweet dog, Bella, who is sitting right there, became spontaneously paralyzed in her back legs. And my daughter, who is an adult, I'm 46 years old. Well, I was 46 at the time. I'm now 47. But my adult daughter, who is now 25, she was 24 at the time. We had taken my dog Bella to the vet because of her becoming spontaneously paralyzed. We had just gotten home, and my daughter had tried to position Bella, and she tweaked her just in a position that caused Bella some pain. And so my dog, she's like a 30-pound dog. She is part Basset Hound Pit Bull, and it tweaked her in a way, I guess it caused her some pain. So she reacted by going in this fury of pain and fear. And she started to kind of start biting, as she bit my daughter's hands up really bad. And so my daughter like yelled out in pain. I was sitting right here. So I jumped up and I found my dog, and she was biting my daughter, and she was like biting at my other dog. So I kind of got in between them, and I kind of put my arm up, I guess. I don't exactly remember 100%, but my dog bit me on my arm, like right here. It was just one little bite, but her whole mouth went on my arm. And so it was more of a crush injury. So she broke the ulna, this bone that is right here. And so, to make a long story short, I ended up being in a splint that was a full arm splint for about 10 days. But during that time period, I started to experience lack of mobility in my fingers, like really quickly. And then the bone, there was some angulation in the bone. And I was sitting right here, and my other dog is a black lab, and she was sitting over there, and she stood up and she bumped my elbow, and it caused the bone to go straight. And so, it hurt like a mofo, to be honest. But then that caused the bone to go straight. And so I went to the doctor again, and then they were able to put my arm in a cast. And so I was in a long arm cast, but I think the doctor put that on too tight. So, to make a long story short, that same day I started to get these weird, like real strong chills underneath the cast. And I almost immediately started having even less mobility. But the doctors kept saying, oh, I was going to have nerve damage because of the crush injury. And so they hadn't told me to look out for the CRPS stuff. And so I didn't know that this could be a thing. And so I didn't know to look out for these things. So they just kept telling me that if I experienced really severe pain, to let them know. Well, I didn't really experience severe pain. it just hurt because I had a broken arm and been bitten by a dog, so I didn't think anything of it. Well, I ended up, by the end of it, my hand was so swollen that it was like bulging out of the cast. It was bulging out the top of the thing. They had to cut it off. Bad, bad, bad situation. But long story short, I ended up being diagnosed straight away with CRPS. My hand was so fat that my hand was like, just like this. My thumb was fully extended, like stuck backwards. My hand was, my elbow was stuck up like this. My hand was stuck, pulled back like this. So I was kind of like this. So and now I am like this. My arm cannot fully straighten. I can now go like this. This is where I'm at now. I can open my hand to here. It's now been 7 months. This is very, very tight. So this is my hand fully extended. This is the side view. I can't turn. I can't turn. I gotta turn my body. Let me see. Let's see how far. I can't. So this is like me trying to, I can't touch my head. Can't touch my head. I can bring my head to my hand. But yeah, I can't touch. I can't turn. The pain though. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. The pain that I'm feeling right this second, right now. I'm feeling the pain that I'm feeling, the sensations I'm feeling right now. I take Lyrica, and I have acetaminophen in my system, and I also take at nighttime, I take Topamax, topiramate. Right now, I'm feeling severe tightness in my hand. I just took the Lyrica, helps with the burning sensation. I often have severe burning. Feels like my hand is just submerged in boiling water often. I get like a feeling like my arm is just being like hovering over the burner. It feels like, so the way I describe it to my husband, it's like someone is forcing my hand in the second burner into the boiling water while the rest of my arm is hovering over the first burner on the stovetop. Does that make sense? But right now, I'm not feeling that because the Lyrica is fully in my system, so I'm not feeling that extreme pain. I'm feeling right now, I'm feeling the extreme, the tightness, especially around right here. Unfortunately, I have had spread of my CRPS. I'm feeling burning here on the back of my arm, around here on my, I also have burning like on my face, like here and here. But the thing I really want to document is how far I've come. Because when I started hand therapy, like I'm saying, my hand was stuck like this. And now look at it. Look at where I'm at. My hand was stuck like this. Now look. I can move this. I can move it like this. I mean, my hand was actually had gone from like being stuck like back like this to actually being clawed down like this. And now I do have issues where it does claw down like this, but then I can move it and I can get it to go back up. Now I have contracture, so I cannot make my fingers go straight, but I'm working really, really hard to make them come down. So I do a lot of hand therapy. I go to hand therapy at least once a week. I would go more often, but they don't have the appointments available for me to go more often. Sometimes I can't even get in once a week. Sometimes it's like a week and a half. Because hand therapy, it is just, man, there's just not enough hand therapists. If you're considering going into hand therapy as a hand therapist, please do, because there's just not enough hand therapists. They have helped me so much. I mean, what an asset to just, man, they've helped me. But I now have, let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you could see. Can you see? Where's the, I don't know. I have stretch marks on my fingers because my fingers were so swollen that in this position, they were touching and you could not see in between my fingers. They were so swollen for so long. I literally have stretch marks in between my fingers. Right now, they are not swollen, but all throughout the day, they get a little swollen and they come down. They get swollen. But do you see the weird shape of my fingers? So look at my regular fingers. They're just like, I got a burn from the pan. But if you look at my regular fingers and then my fingers have now become almost like deformed kind of, and they've changed their shape. So it's kind of hard to see. But you could get, look at my wrist. Let me see if I can pull my sleeve up. Like I said, this is a very spontaneous video. I just need to see what my goal is right now. Is I'm trying to get back to work. I was a full-time court clerk and I want to get back to work. That's my goal. I got to get back to work. But I cannot get back to work if I cannot use my hands. I need to be able to use my hands. So my goal is to get my hand to turn over and look at, and now I've got to be able to keep my shoulder down. So this is where I'm at. Oh God, and this is like the pulling. It's like so tight, it's so tight. It's just like, but this is huge progress because, oh man, this is huge. So May 26th to January 14th, you know, to be honest, that's more like, that's almost like, is that 8 months? That might be even like 8 months. Honestly, that might be like over 8 months. That might even be like 8.5 months, to be honest. I mean, we're talking, that's a long time, but progress is progress. This is where we're at. I do get color changes. My hand turns this weird purple color. It used to turn purple, blue, yellow, white. That was much more at first. When I first got injured, my fingernails grew really long, like absurdly long, like kind of grotesquely long. Like it was like scary looking long because my nails don't grow long. And they were like so long that it was like out to here, like icky. So really rapid growth at first and thick and long. I also had sort of like, the kind of look like kind of a ridge where almost like an injury mark on my fingernails. I could not touch them at all. I'm extreme sensitivity to my whole hand, so I could not file them. I could not cut them. I could not paint them. I could not touch them in any way. I could maybe touch them lightly with my own fingers, but nobody else could touch them in any way. Nobody could touch my hand, or just very, very gently. And the fear of someone touching them because they might be too rough, like the fear that they might be too rough or might not be gentle, was enough for me to like flinch, and then the flinch would hurt. So that was really hard because CRPS, the thing is, different people have different symptoms, and one of the symptoms could literally be such extreme sensitivity to touch that it is like intolerable. Like it's really hard to explain. For some people, even like the air touching it, and it's kind of hard to explain, where if the air is still, it's okay. But like the wind, or like if the fan is on or a window is open and like a breeze, or like but it's more like if your hair moves on your arm, or if like you get a chill on your a chill makes your hair move, or you get a goosebumps, that would cause, for me, goosebumps would cause pain. So it was like a painful goosebumps. It's so hard to explain. But like I could gently touch my own self because I could regulate and I knew what I could tolerate. But for me to trust another person to touch me was almost intolerable, honestly, because I didn't trust them to be careful enough. But then I had to trust them. So I just had to basically grin and bear and tolerate, because because like for bandages or the doctor, I mean, that's what I had to tolerate. I had to get help with getting in and out of the bathtub. It was my arm, so I had to get a lot of help. I couldn't do things like moving like this. I couldn't move like this. I couldn't move like this. I mean, I literally, even though it was my arm, it affected like my whole body. I was very stiff. This is like when it was brand new. And it might have been because I also had a broken arm. So I don't know how much was related to the fact that I had a broken arm. But yeah, it was absolutely terrible. It was like the first weeks and months was absolutely a nightmare. I would not wish CRPS on anyone. I have now had 3 stellate ganglion nerve blocks. I absolutely think that was the game changer for me. Oh, actually, sorry. They were on this side. This is my affected arm side. For me, what they do when it's in your arm, they do it around this area right here. You get an IV in your opposite side, and you're non-affected. They do it here. For me, yes, it actually did trigger some CRPS in that side. To be honest, worth it, because it made this side tolerable to live. So yes, it is pain in this side. Yes, still worth it. Worth it. Every time, I've now had 3, so every time I got it in the same area. Unfortunately, it started with a little area of numbness, and it was just numbness, like, but it would come and go, but it was like this little round spot. And then the second time I got the nerve block, the numbness started with numbness and pain, and it was a bigger area. It was like here. And then this last one, it was full numbness and pain, and it was all down and around, and it was all down and around. So 3rd time's a charm, I suppose. But yeah, it was really the second one, I think, that actually triggered CRPS because of the pain. And it was the 3rd one that sealed the deal. But as you can see, I can now move my shoulder. Oh, and it also, because of the CRPS down here, it did trigger frozen shoulder. So I do, if you start to get issues with your shoulder, immediately request physical therapy for your shoulder. If you're having stiffness in your elbow, immediately request physical therapy for your elbow. Shoulder and elbow are connected. You must start immediately. The sooner you start specific physical therapies. If you have CRPS in your hand and wrist, that is separate. So that's occupational therapy. If it translates, even if you have a little bit of pain up here, it might not actually be CRPS. So catch it quickly. You've got to maintain. I think I waited a little bit too long because I was worried that it was CRPS. You've got to get that. If as long as the physical therapist knows that it might be, they just need to not do some of the more aggressive therapies. It has been a game changer for me. I went in there and I could like move like this much. Like it was just like, oh. It was like, ouch, 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 ouch. And now I can only go to here, but look at, I could go up to about like, look at this, like up to here. I could go back here. But the thing is I can move like this. I can move up. I can have more function. I can do these things. Before, it would be like if like the dog bumped my arm, if like my shoulder like went up, I'd be like, oh my God, like, ah, you know what I mean? Like it would be acute pain. Get me a hydrocodone. I'm dying. I feel terrible. Tears, the works. You've got to address your pain areas, your stiff areas as they arise, because your CRPS is in one area or maybe in two areas or in a region of your body, but that can actually cause stiffness, and it kind of can move, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's CRPS. It could just translate to kind of a guarding action where, okay, your arm is stiff and so you're keeping it tucked in, or, you know, your ankle hurts and so you're keeping your knee and your hip kind of tight, and you're changing your body to protect your leg. And so now your hip is getting tight, or your knee or your ankle, because maybe your toe or your toes or something, a part of your leg. You've got to get to physical therapy to keep those body parts, because man, and you might already know this, I might be preaching to the choir here, but if you're new to CRPS, listen to me. I'm new to CRPS too. I'm only in it since May of last year, and it's only January of the following year. It happens so quick. Our bodies, they just tighten up so fast. You've got to move it. You have to. You've got to force it. It might hurt like a mofo. It might hurt like heck. Like right now, I'm in a lot of pain in my wrist. It does not matter. You do not listen to that pain. You tell it too bad, so sad. You keep moving it. Do not put your arm in that brace. It might be so tempting to be like, okay. Now, if you want to maybe consider a nighttime sleeping brace to help you so you can sleep at night, you know, or maybe consider, if you have a lot of pain, if you type at work, maybe wear one at work or something, maybe for a couple hours. But if you notice that you're starting to like get a little stiffer, you take off that brace. I'm not joking. Because if you want to live the rest of your life like that, then you go ahead and you keep that brace on. Or if you want to live your life like me, like not being able to use your hand, you go ahead and you keep that brace on. But I'm telling you, it happens. I had that freaking cast on for only 2 weeks, 2 freaking weeks. And this is what happened to me. And don't let it happen to you. CRPS, it's a freaking tragedy for our freaking bodies. So don't freaking do it. Don't let it win. I'm telling you, don't let it win. This is where I'm at. I cannot turn my freaking hand. And this is not because of pain. This is because the tendon and the muscle are so tight that they will not let my hand turn. My fingers, are so, now actually you can kind of see that my hand is turning, I don't know if you can see it, but my hands are different colors right now. I don't know if you can see it in the video. Just from me kind of messing, oh, they look very similar to each other in the video. But this one is turning a darker color. But yeah, you can see it a little bit, but yeah, in person, this one is turning a darker color. But, and can you see that? It's getting like blotchy. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, but what happens is the more that we let our bodies contract, our bodies want to stay contracted. They want to stay in like this, like if you let your hand claw, if you let your hand stay, if you let your foot stay like in a odd position, it will stay there and it will lock in that position. It might hurt. You might have to stretch it. You might have to really work it. You might have to go to physical therapy to stretch it out. And then you've got to get it to fix in that open position. So what happened with me is I can't even make my hand do what it was doing before. So it was down like this. And so through physical therapy, and actually I have what we used. We had this. Let me see if I can at least balance. So my hand was like this, and so we worked it a little bit. And so what I did on my own, because the physical therapist didn't actually tell me this, but I didn't want to lose any function or anything. And so I would stick this in my hand so it wouldn't go back down. And then as my hand went up, I had a brace for my wrist because I had a broken arm still. And I would stick this in the brace and I would make it go higher as my hand went higher. And then I would put an ace bandage around it. So I'd have my brace and then I would have this holding my fingers up around this sponge so that I wouldn't lose. And that's how I got my fingers up to how they're at. And then what ended up happening is I had a terrible flare, a terrible pain flare where I was having muscle spasms going from my shoulder. They would zing all the way to my fingertips and my arm would literally spasm and it would twist. I would have to grab my wrist to keep it from flexing because the thing is with my tight tendons and my muscles, it physically cannot. So the ripping and the tearing and the pain was intolerably painful, where it would be like scream cry worthy. And so I would have to grab my arm. And because of that, I was not paying attention to my hand. And so my hand ended up clawing. And I just was so like delirious, like in pain for 6 days that they contracted and I couldn't get them straight again, ever. So my hand is now permanently in contracture and I cannot get them to go straight. And so I bought these little contraptions and I'll do more videos. I'm gonna make this a permanent series that I'm gonna be doing. I've bought these little contraptions to help me with my contractures. These little torture devices where you put it on your fingers and then you put this down. I try to help with the contractures. I'll do more videos about that. But so this is where I'm at. And so this is where I can look back at later. So yeah, so this is where I am at. This is where I want to be. This is where I'm at. Torture. So hopefully if you're still at where I was like 5 months ago, hopefully this gives you some hope that this might be better than where you are, or maybe you started out better than I was, and maybe this is like nothing because you're already way past, or maybe you were just never there and this is like, what is this lady talking about? I don't know, but hopefully this gives you some hope or some information about Lyrica, about Topamax. I don't know. Or give me some feedback. What are you doing? Maybe something you're doing could help me. Okay, so stay tuned for my next video. Please let me know if you watch this. It would mean a lot to me. Subscribe. That would be like fantastic. I will see you later. Again, my name is Jennifer, and I will see you next time. Bye.